The Optimist Show is about news, information, entertainment, and activism. Welcome to the Optimist Show podcast, and we want to welcome all of you wherever you are this time, and thank you very much for joining us as we continue to keep hope alive. The Optimist Show brings you the information as it is, and so we are glad to be with you today so that we can share together. Please like and share, subscribe to our channel, The Optimist Show, keeping hope alive.
It's estimated 1 in every 10 people in Grenada have the sickle cell trait. Having the trait does not mean you are sick or unhealthy. Very healthy people have the trait. Unfortunately, many of these people are unaware that they carry the trait. You see, when 2 people with the trait have a child, there is a 1 in 4 chance that the child will be born with the sickle cell disease. That is why it is important to know if you have the trait. Sickle cell is associated with life-threatening conditions, and it can be very painful. You see, the body's red cells can pass freely through the arteries and veins, but the sickled cells can get stuck, and this is what causes pain. This disease, you cannot catch it from someone. It is inherited. You are born with the trait or the full-blown disease. It comes from your parents. So let's talk sickle cell and what it is about and what can be learned about it and how to live with it. Let's all make better decisions about our family's health by learning the facts and getting tested. A message from the Sickle Cell Association of Grenada. Please call 458-6399 or email us at grenadasc@gmail.com.
Tossed and battered, bruised and knocked down, forever changed. But from the rubble, hope rises. The Optimist Show returns.
Let me welcome all of you to the Optimist Show podcast for today. This episode is the last one for the year 2024, and certainly we are glad that we have been able to engage you during the past 12 months. But as we face the end of this year, 2024, we certainly will have expectations looking forward to 2025. And so this new podcast organized by the Optimist Show team really is a new phase going forward. And this episode really wants to bring us back, take us back, and let us examine what it has been like for us during the past 12 months. I'm hoping that we are going to be joined later on the podcast. So in the meantime, we want to say welcome, tell a friend, call someone, and let us all be part of this Optimist Show podcast.
As we spread hope and optimism, we are down to the close of the year, and we know, Mr. Coy, that it has been a year filled with challenges, but yet a year that was filled with hope. So it's good to be here to basically reflect and to look at how far we have come as a group of persons with the same vision and with the same aim.
Certainly, the year 2024 can be described different ways by different people. And it is important for us, to stop and take stock, assess, see where we are at and how we're going forward, because the experience that we had earlier, by the middle of the year, was really impactful, and it affected so many people. But that's just one part of it. The year started earlier this year, January, and from then to now, how can we evaluate the achievements that we would have had despite the experience we had with Hurricane Beryl?
Well, that's a very important question, Mr. Coy, because somehow Hurricane Beryl seems to overshadow, everything else. And besides that one event that sort of masquerade everything else, there are still the regular activities, the regular moments, the regular, cycles and activities of our life that we definitely have to embrace and see whether or not we would have somehow accomplished. As we know, when you start off every new year, we make resolution, or some people say we reflect, and we have certain expectation, and all of us in some way or the other would have set goals or wanted to achieve something. So it is always important to look back, to look where we are currently, and of course to look forward to see how we can navigate and, just build on these experiences to take us to a place of greater growth.
Let me ask you this: what do you think? What would you think were some of the challenges amidst everything, the ups, the highs, the lows, the challenges for the past year?
Well, for me personally, what would have been challenging, of course, we know that Beryl would have heightened that case, the ability to stay connected. For me, I think was one of the most challenging, connected with family, connected with friends, being able to just maintain relationships. And of course, Beryl would have taught us that above all, these are the things that we need to focus on rather than, what we amass in life. Our success is not a measure of the things that we have, as we can see. So it is basically the lives that we touch and how best we can be there for the persons that we are assigned to. And of course, Mr. Coy, we are all assigned to somebody or some event or some purpose. So I hope as we reflect this year, we were able to at least highlight some of our purpose, be it at the workplace, at home, in our communities, and so forth. And whether we would have achieved these. Me, I believe the most challenging part is family, and just being able to navigate around all these different elements, being separated for a bit, being able to adapt to the changes, your living arrangement, your eating habits. I mean, so much alteration. And of course, as a community as a whole, just not being able to be like a unit as you used to, because most people would have probably migrated to another village. Some persons would have gone to other countries seeking greener pastures. So these are some of the challenging things for me, and these are some of the things. Of course, my future endeavor would be to see how I can personally reconnect with family and community as a whole.
Okay. And I guess on this Optimist Show podcast, we focusing on keeping hope alive. And because hope has to be kept alive, it means something happened. It means that people have been challenged. People have been challenged to stay strong. And the lack of hope is significantly dangerous, because if we, like all men, most miserable, we don't have no hope, what will happen? So the lack of hope has really, in my view, cemented itself in our hearts and in our lives. And now we want to keep that hope alive. How difficult do you think that is?
Well, for example, the year has taught me that you just have to be careful as to where you put your hope in, and basically how much hope you put into a certain thing, whether it is your spirituality, whether it is in the things that you hope for in life, like your riches or so forth. Um, but what I'm certain about is that having hope by itself is important. Without hope, I believe that it is very easy, basically, to lose sight of the things that are really, truly important to you. And I have seen, even as a family person, a community person, the stress it created as a result, especially around burial time. Persons become quite frustrated with the loss of all the material possession. But what I did capture is for those who had hope and placed the confidence in things that are greater than the material possession, basically was able to navigate the challenges of burial quicker.
And we are endeavoring to keep that hope alive. All right. Well, I know we all have the opportunity to reflect, remember some of the experiences that we had, successes, failures, um, highs and lows. We all went through them before burial, during burial, after burial. We'll continue to have these experiences, and we have to take away the lessons of life from those things so that we can be stronger. You mentioned the word growth a while ago, and that's what growth is about: getting stronger, stronger day by day. What would you like to leave to our viewers at this time in regards to how we approach going forward? You know, on this show in the past, when we were doing it before, we talked about hindsight, insight, and foresight. Yeah, we're going forward. What do you see?
Well, in going forward, from the lessons that I've learned is, wow, nothing is really set in stone. And life can be unpredictable, but we go back to that simple word that we call hope, which meaning that we amidst all of that, we must have some kind of positive expectation, right? So looking forward to 2025, I think it's just about embracing the opportunities that you have and having positive expectations. Positive expectation would carry you a long way because it would create a positive mindset. And a positive mindset, of course, would result in positive actions taken, right? And of course, which result ultimately in positive results. So I think that 2024 has taught me that you could never be totally prepared, but I think it's about your mindset. Having the right mindset is very important because it affects just about everything, how you handle just the simplest thing in life. And so creating and trying to build a positive mindset is going to make a huge difference in just about everything that you do. The simplest tasks, from business to relationship to just life as a whole. So I think that is something that I would definitely intentionally invest some time in terms of how do you build your mind, your mentality, being positive, being optimist, right? As we say all the time, being optimistic, because it's going to make a difference in the simplest as well as the greatest task that you would encounter in this life.
Well said. Thank you. Thank you so very much, Amber. Um, I too look forward to spending time with you on this journey so we can continue to inspire and motivate and keep hope alive.
Well, I myself am looking forward to working with you, Mr. Coy. And of course, not forgetting all these wonderful people out there who continue to listen to the Optimist Show. They're in the US, some are in England, Canada. Mr. Coy, I think we have touched life. We would continue to touch lives. And we hope in 2025 that, of course, the lives that we would have touched would ultimately touch others. Because sometimes it does not directly mean that we have to touch everyone, but it's like a chain reaction. We touch one, and then that other person would eventually touch another. So I'm looking forward to that chain reaction in 2025. And as we spread love and encouragement and support, as we educate, as we advocate, and as we just encourage people to be the best version of themselves, regardless to where they are in the world.
Well, Amber, as we continue here with this Optimist Show podcast, in this episode, what features do we have today? Can you tell us?
We are very honored to feature a rendition from one of Grenada's finest Calypsonian, and his name is no other than Eggies. We are deeply saddened by his passing, and of course, this tribute, of course, which will be played right here on the Optimist Show, was dedicated by his family and friends and loved one. And so, take in.
All right.
Oh, Jah, Father, how many times you have called on mankind to fall in line? How many times you have shown us the signs, but we paid no mind. Locked up in vanity, there got to be another way. I told my people one day, me tell them if together we can do this thing. Honestly, protect the rights of everybody. The world would be a better place where we can live together. Oh, Jah Jah, protect us with your love. Me tell your father, demand them. Spoil the world with the inequality, hatred and greed for the poor and the needy them. Spoil the world to rob and plunder other people's property, say insecurity. Then spoil the world from the womb to the tomb. We in the open to be blown away by a bomb because of association with the heathen. Oh Jah,
protect us with your love.
Oh Father, please
protect us with your love.
How many times Babylon I try to trample the rights? Me tell your father in broad daylight, them put up a fight with a holy hype and oppression. There must be another way. I told my folks one day, me tell them if together we can do this thing. Honestly, protect the rights of everybody. The world would be a better place where we can live together. Oh Jah Jah,
protect us with your love.
I say demand them. Spoil the world with the inequality, hatred and greed for the poor and the needy them. Spoil the world to rob and plunder other people's property, say insecurity. Spoil the world from the womb to the tomb. We in the open to be blown away by a bomb because of association with the heathen. Oh Jah,
Protect us with your love.
oh Father, please
Protect us with your love.
what can be done to convince the man to put down the guns and the bombs? Cause all way you turn is bomb after bomb, and more poor people dying. There gotta be another way. I told my people one day, me tell them if together we can do this thing. Honestly, protect the rights of everybody. The world will be a better place where we can live together. Oh Jah Jah, protect us with your love. Me tell your father, demand them spoil the world when they took the position to support Israel against them Palestinians.
Spoil the world.
We know for a fact, with no good intention, they mash up Iraq. Them spoil the world from the womb to the tomb. We in the open to be blown away by a bomb because of association with the heathen. Oh Jah,
Protect us with your love.
I beg you, Father, please.
Protect us with your love.
Call his name. Don't be ashamed. Oh Father, please. Jah, call his name. Call it out loud. Oh Jah, Father, how many times you have called on mankind to fall in line? How many times you have shown us the signs, but we paid no mind. Locked up in vanity, there got to be another way. I told my people one day, me tell them if together we can do this thing. Honestly, protect the rights of everybody. The world would be a better place where we can live together. Oh Jah Jah, protect us with your love. I tell your father, demand them spoil the world with the inequality, hatred and greed for the poor and the needy. Them spoil the world to rob and plunder other people's property, say insecurity. Them spoil the world from the womb to the tomb. We in the open to be blown away by a bomb because of association with the heathen. Oh Jah,
Protect us with your love.
oh Father, please.
Protect us with your love.
How many times Babylon I try to trample the rights? But tell your father in broad daylight, them put up a fight with a holy hype and oppression. There must be another way. I told my folks one day, me tell them if together we can do this thing. Honestly, protect the rights of everybody. The world will be a better place where we can live together. Oh Jah Jah,
Protect us with your love.
I say demand them spoil the world with the inequality, hatred and greed for the poor and the needy. Them spoil the world to rob and plunder other people's property, say insecurity. Spoil the world from the womb to the tomb. We in the open to be blown away by a bomb because of association with the heathen. Oh Jah,
Protect us with your love.
oh Father, please.
Protect us with your love.
What can be done to convince the man to put down the guns and the bombs? Cause all way you turn is bomb after bomb, and more poor people dying. There gotta be another way. I told my people one day, me tell them if together we can do this thing. Honestly, protect the rights of everybody. The world will be a better place where we can live together. Oh Jah Jah, protect us with your love. Me tell your father, demand them spoil the world when they took the position to support Israel against them Palestinians.
Spoil the world.
We know for a fact, with no good intention, they mash up Iraq. Them spoil the world from the womb to the tomb. We in the open to be blown away cause of association with the heathen. Oh, yeah.
With me at this time is Randa, James, Joseph, Noel. And for those of you who have been following the Optimist Show, you have been hearing Randa's music. You have been hearing Randa's um, uh, chat on the show. She has very well made some outstanding contribution towards helping us to keep hope alive. So, Randa, welcome and thanks for being part of this end of the year reflection. What has it been like for you during this past year? Your highs, your lows, those areas of challenges. Tell us what it has been like for you.
All right. Well, Mr. Coy, and to the listening audience, I just want to say how grateful I am to be on the Optimist Show. It has always been my life, story when it comes to entertainment. Like I always tell people, it's not about being famous, anything like that. I just want to remember as someone who, gave their best when it comes to the entertainment industry. And I reflect on my highs and lows. My highs really is that I'm here today. That's something I'm grateful. I'm here, I'm alive and well. And my lows will be, for me, a lot of people always, you tend to judge the book by its cover, but I have a lot of challenges with my health. And regardless of that, I continue to prosper. I don't give up. I move forward. So it's a pleasure to be on today.
Great. I appreciate your determination, your resolve, despite the challenges, despite the lows. Looking back again at this year, 2024, what will you take out? What can you take away? What are the lessons can you take away from this year? Your life, what is family, career, profession, whatever it is, what can you take away from 2024 going forward?
You know what? The fact that I tell people this all the time, I am very humble. I'm a very humble person. And for that reason, I can only move forward into the best of the best. And 2024, oh my goodness, I am so thankful to be here, as I said before. However, when it comes to things that I reflect on will be music, entertainment, my life. I'm grateful for family. I'm grateful for friends. I'm grateful for everything that I have. But I have to reflect on a few things, like when it comes to, as I said before, my health challenges. Like, people don't really know what I go through, and I still continue to move forward. So I'm all about not giving up, moving forward. And I'm not urging into the future. I'm just thinking about today, because yesterday is always gone. It's gone. I can't bring it back. So we move forward.
Yes, I like that concept that you think about today. The past, yesterday was an experience.
Yeah.
Tomorrow is going to be an experience, but you look forward to it. And I appreciate the fact that you're spending time with yourself today, despite the challenges, despite the areas that you have concerns about. Now, you have been on this Optimist Show for several years, I think, many years, because we have been doing this for a little while. What would you like to say to our listeners or viewers about the importance of, the importance of being focused on what you are doing at present?
Yeah, you know what? The Optimist Show, I'm so grateful for you, Mr. Coy, because it came along at the right time. And I think everything happens for a reason. So in life, you have to be optimistic. I mean, some days it's going to be good, some days it's going to be bad. But one thing I tell you, and I'll tell everyone this, they say, do not give up. Les Brown, you go where the path will lead. Because you have to have something to motivate you, someone to motivate you. And a lot of times when the show comes on and you talked about, maybe disability or your ability. And I think what I love about the Optimist Show is that it gives you a chance to be yourself, be open to people out there, and know that life is a challenge, but it's how you decide to move forward with it. And for me, I'm staying positive. I am being optimistic, and I love life. And that's why I'm still here.
one of the slogans that we speak about a lot on this show is keeping hope alive. And that means despite whatever obstacles,
Yeah.
we can always see a light at the end of the tunnel. We can always see something positive. Um, Tell us exactly what does that mean for you? How do you interpret that, the idea of keeping hope alive?
For me, it's all because if you don't, what's going to happen? It will not be alive anymore. So I believe that you have to, no matter what you go through, no matter the challenges, you have to just keep on going. The moment you stop is the moment the cells in your body, everything dies. So I think what keeps me going is my family. Yes, I'm always gonna be so happy for my husband, my children, my mom and dad, my entire siblings, everyone. Some names I could point out my brother Eroy. Why I'm going to point him out? Because he is also like a mentor to me when it comes to music. Eroy will be singing 1,000 songs, record about 50,000 songs. I've been looking at his smule and I realized I did so much less. So he is my inspiration. So he is why, well, yes, of course, Archery do come in because I always say he's one of my producers. But I keep hope alive because people are pushing me forward, because there are days when I'm down and out, but I have individuals in my life that keep me going forward. So that Mr. Coy, you are like a mentor to me because you always push me around. I'll play the song. Don't worry. Send it to me. I'll be the first to do it. So when you have people like that along your way, you will always keep hope alive. So somebody needs somebody. It's like, I know the song, We Are the Wall. Yeah. And it's like, lean on me when you lean on me, when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on. That's what comes to mind.
I don't hope that you wanted me to sing with you because I'm not a singer. But great, no, but I think the words are very important, and we need to have that kind of assurance from other people. We live in a world where we need each other. Everybody needs each other. Look here in Carriacou, we have had a hurricane after many, many years. And that ought to have brought us closer together. It ought to have helped us to understand that we all do need each other. Now, in closing, I know that you have lots of plans, ideas, and you would like to see a lot of things happen. Tell us, for example, what are some of the things that you would like to pursue going forward in the new year?
Well, for the new year, always on my mind is recording some good song, because I did, with We Shall Rise. Didn't want to go into it because I get so emotional when you're talking about Hurricane Beryl, because that actually opened up my, my direction to realizing that things will always be things, but people are unreplaceable. So I would like to continue on that road to inspiring people to keep going forward, because what I am Grenadian, I am a kayak. And with what happened to us, it's going to take us years to build back. And for that reason, my goal for 2025 is to continue to inspire my people to don't give up, to keep on going. So my songs will be reflecting that, because it was quickly done, We Shall Rise. And now I'm saying, you know what, I can put more lyrics together to give people hope for the new year. That's my wish, my desire, my everything. Inspirational song moving forward.
You spoke about your family. Just in closing, this final comment I want from you. You spoke about your family. And you also, and you said that you're not a Grenadian, you're a kayak, which really, tell us about your, very, very briefly, your Carriacou connection, because I know this is where you're anchored, this is where you're from, this is where the energy that you put about your families, your families, immediate families and parents and so on, siblings. Tell us about your family and what do they mean to you?
Family means the world to me. And I think when it comes to my entire sibling, they will say, I am the peacemaker. I am the one that everyone calls to. And I love it. So I'm from Leicester. I'm very proud to be from Leicester, especially. My mom is, people know her as Azita, my dad, welcome. And I recently counted my brothers and sisters, and I think I got about 19. So, and I am the first, by the way. I am the first when it comes to my father's side. So for me, family is everything. And of course, a lot of people don't know that, but my husband Aaron he's from Carriacou. He's right there from Brango Bridge. So I am so grateful to have that connection, because when it comes to home is my heart. And I cannot wait for our island to get back to where it used to be, because I know it is possible once we don't give up. So family for me means everything. And everybody know Randa is a people person. I will hug you all the time. I will always, I realize that I'm here for a really good reason, Mr. Coy. People really love me genuinely. And for those who don't, well, I'll just say, how you doing?
All right. So thank you so very much for taking the time to just chat with us here. And of course, when it comes to the Optimist Show, you are someone that I always will include, because I think we do have a mission. We do have that ability to inspire people. And people do need the inspiration in a time as this. So once again, Randa, thank you so very much. And I wish you all the best for 2025.
Thank you so much, Mr. Coy, and I wish you the best and even more to come. And thank you all. Have a good day.
Tossed and battered, bruised and knocked down, forever changed. But from the rubble, hope rises. The Optimist Show returns.
It's my pleasure and great indeed a delight to have on the show this podcast today a very good friend, a colleague, someone who I have had on this show before, talk about serious and other things, but I'm talking about a friend who basically originates from Nigeria. And she'll tell you her name and give us some more information about her background. And then we'll have a conversation about the experience. What has it been like for the past year? And what were some of the highlights? Good day to you. Nice to have you, Kusari.
Thank you very much, Milton. It's an absolute pleasure to be here once again, have the opportunity to converse with you. Thank you very much.
Certainly. My pleasure. Tell us something about yourself. I know what I do know, the little that I do know, is that you visited Carriacou sometime June, July, and you had an experience. But before you go into the experience, tell us something about yourself, because it's nice to have you on as a friend.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Milton. So in a nutshell, of course, my name is Kusari. I am Nigerian by ethnicity, but born in the UK. I grew up in Nigeria. Went back to Nigeria when I was a child, grew up there and came back, years later. And I've been here ever since. I am a child of God. I love God passionately. Everything that encompasses my life reflects my faith and my walk with God. And that is shown in the different aspects of my life, in the marketplace, as well as in ministry, in family, and in friendships and relationships. I think one significant thing I say definitely is about me is my aim and goal in life is to make impact. Everything that I do, everything that I am, whoever I am, really encompasses in that one thing, is to make impact. For me, that's what matters. That's what counts. And it doesn't really matter for me whether it's about being popular, being well known, wherever I am, no matter the capacity or where God has placed me, I am made for the purpose of making impact in this generation that will spill over to the next. That's me in a nutshell.
Great. Yes, great. I appreciate that. I've just said also that you visited Carriacou, and that's where our connection started. Of course, that's physically. We mean have been connected before, whatever. But
Mhm.
physically, you came to Carriacou, and I always like to remember you were the you were the last person. The Saturday, the Saturday before the Monday, you were the person I had on the show, this Optimist Show program, and I know that based on our conversation, that experience and having to go through the whole burial experience.
Mm.
Tell us what has it been like for you, in during that time, not
You
knowing
know,
what's going to happen.
Milton, you said something so significant. I didn't even realize, I'd never really thought about it that I was the last person on the Optimist show. It's just now that you're saying it, I'm thinking back, and actually that's true. So that is really significant. Beryl, I have to be honest, when we got when we were told, I think there were 2 stages of warning that was given to the island. And I remember when I first heard about the tropical depression, and I was speaking to somebody and asked them what it meant. Was there like a high probability that we would experience a hurricane? And they said, well, hundreds of hurricanes pass over Carriacou, so there's a likelihood that this is not going to happen. And I guess for somebody like me who has never in my life experienced a natural disaster of any sort, let alone something as huge as a hurricane, I think at the back of my mind, I just felt it's not going to happen. Surely it's not going to happen while I'm on this island. Surely it's just not going to happen. And I have to be honest that even right to the very last minute, when the probability had increased and people were now being told to prepare, my mind, mentally, I didn't adjust myself to the truth of the matter. Now, what really stands out for me with Beryl was that I had been on Carriacou for a 30-day prayer and worship mission trip. And I remember the very last day that we were going to have a session, the 5-hour session. Initially, we were told to keep it short so people can go home and prepare, secure their homes and everything to be safe. But we decided that we wanted to make sure we had committed to 5 hours every day. We were going to do the 5 hours. So we went to church 5 in the morning, right up until 10 o'clock. About 9 o'clock, people came in. They were just going to have an hour of a session to go. And when we left church, I knew in my mind that I had said to God that, Lord, you're gonna cause this to pass over. But somebody said to me, Kusari, even if it happens, we were gonna survive. And I remember the morning that it happened, that it was supposed to happen. I was up right till I think 2 in the morning, and I remember looking out the window and I thought, nothing is gonna happen. Everything seems calm. Right till when it was daybreak, and as we saw the winds were starting to pick up, I still was not committed to it. And then it started. And then all I could remember was what I always see on the television when they talk about hurricane. I remember when Hurricane Katrina happened and the damages that it caused in the US. And I thought, oh my goodness, am I actually going to be in the middle of a disaster like that? And this thing picked up. I was scared. I'm not going to lie. I was scared in the first phase, but I thought that was the worst of it. And when we went into the 15-minute, the eye of the storm, as they called it, I remember thinking, oh, well, it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. I mean, yeah, that was really scary, but it wasn't terrible. And then I was told, Kusari, there is more to come. And when the second wave hit, that was when I thought, that's it. It's over. Life as we know it is over. I had to sit. I remember sitting on the floor because I could no longer feel myself. I felt like I was not present. And the only way I could remind myself that I was still alive was I sat on the floor, and I remember rubbing my hands on the floor just to remind myself that you're still here. I was in such a state of shock. I was not speaking. And everyone was saying to me, Kusari, don't worry, you're going to be okay. But everything that was happening around me, I just felt like the whole world was falling apart. But then in that one moment, you know, I got that sense of confidence. Kusari, you're going to be okay. Everything is going to be okay. And then we started to sing. And I remember as I started singing songs of praises, all of a sudden, the noise that was around me, that was basically vibrating in the entire house, suddenly it's like it became like a whisper. And all that my mind and body and soul were focused on is in that moment of worship and praise. Suddenly, all the fear that gripped me just fell off. And I remember getting off the floor, sitting on the chair with such confidence. I just felt, we're going to be okay. So that moment right there was the moment I realized that, you know what? Fear truly is an illusion. That even though you can see the reality of what's going on, it is not as how fear presents it to you. The damage that it causes is like fear causes more damage than the actual experience itself. So that for me really stood out. For me, that was my major experience in Beryl, apart from obviously the physical things that were happening. But as a person, what the mark that it left on my soul, that was what I experienced. I don't know if I've actually expressed myself as I want to. I need to be honest as well that I am still reflecting on that experience. I don't think I've fully digested and really pulled out everything that I felt during that experience. So bear with me. I'm speaking it as I'm able to share, if that makes sense. So that's what I'm
Yes, it
saying.
does.
Yeah.
It does. It does make sense, and I do appreciate your honesty and the sincerity in which you express and describe that experience. And I would think it's an experience that would live with you for a long time. It was a point in time, a point in time. Um, in regards to the year generally, the past 12 months, I mean, you existed before that experience, certainly, and will continue to exist after that experience. Looking at it from the perspective of the past 12 months from January to now, um, have you seen yourself fulfilling some of the um, things that you would have said you wanted to do for 2024? At the end of the year, people make, you know, say for the next year, I'll be doing this, I'll be doing that.
Yes.
Have you seen some of those things fulfilling in the way in which you said you wanted to do it for the new year?
That's a very, very, very good question. Very important question too. To be honest with you, Milton, like I said to you, it's been a roller coaster of a year. But I have to say, after the hurricane, when I came back to the UK, it's like I came out of a physical Category 5 hurricane into real life Category 5 hurricane. What I mean by that was I felt like my entire life just like all hell broke loose. And one thing that I picked out from that was, if I never knew that I was a resilient woman, I knew it when I came back to the UK, because so many things happened in my life that really shook. Just like I told you, the hurricane, Hurricane Beryl shook the foundation, shook the building. It was the same way with the things that I experienced coming back to the UK. It was like the vibration against me and my ability to believe that I can withstand all of this and I'll come out on the other side victorious was shaken and being tested. Everything about who I am and what I believed in, was shaken. And like you asked, did I see the fulfillment? No, I've not seen the fulfillment yet. However, one thing that I do know is that coming out of that experience showed me one thing, that just because the hurricane happens, and I'm not and I'm not referring now to Beryl, I'm referring to the pressures of life. I'm referring to the turmoil of life. That just because they did happen does not depict defeat for me as a person, but it actually proves to me that I'm a person of destiny. It proves to me that what I carry, it's so huge that I cannot afford to let this pressure on me deter me from believing that I'm going to achieve that. So even though I may feel that in the beginning of the year that I had these big dreams that these things were going to happen and I didn't actually particularly see it unfold, it shows me that, Kusari, the huge blessing is coming. So you got to hang in there, just like you felt like the building was going to fall apart in Hurricane Beryl. But you didn't. The house did not crumble over you. You didn't die. The roof didn't fall on you, Kusari. Well, then know this, that no matter what is going on around you, no matter how chaotic, you're going to live through this and you have a testimony. And there's something a phrase that has come into my spirit that for the past few weeks, I've been speaking that to myself. Testimonies like rivers flowing. Like I said to you in the beginning, that my entire life embodies my faith in God. Everything that I do, my relationship with people, what I say, what I think, what I do in terms of my work reflects my faith in God. And I believe that that's what's going to unfold and unravel what God is about to do in my life. So in as much as I may not have seen those things unravel at the end of 2024, I know that the appointed time is coming. So I'm not going to rely on New Year resolutions. I'm not going to rely on, oh, I had this dream or I had that dream. I know who I am and I know what I embody. And no matter how long it takes, those things are going to come to pass because that is who I am. I hope that answers your question.
Certainly, it answers my question. Let me also, thank you for taking the time to come and share this with us. It's the program that we refer to as Reflection, and indeed, I certainly appreciate your reflection and appreciation. And life continues. So I really want to say thanks for taking the time to come and share. But I want to give you the last word. What's the word you want to leave with us going forward to a new year?
Resilience, diligence, and discipline. You have to be resilient. If you know what you're pursuing, I don't care what the size of that dream is. As long as you know that that is meant to be, that is who you've been called to be, that is your purpose, then you need resilience. And after resilience, you need to be diligent in pursuing that dream. And in order to be diligent, you need to maintain discipline because distractions are going to come, disruptions are going to come, lies are going to come. There are things that people will say, or you might even say to yourself, that this, because of this, is not going to come to pass. But you need to maintain discipline and stay committed. And I promise you that as long as God has designed that for you to fulfill that purpose, it will come to pass.
Thank you so very much. All the best, and wishing you and your family.
Thank you.
All the best for the new year. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Milton. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
It's estimated 1 in every 10 people in Grenada have the sickle cell trait. Having the trait does not mean you are sick or unhealthy. Very healthy people have the trait. Unfortunately, many of these people are unaware that they carry the trait. You see, when 2 people with the trait have a child, there is a 1 in 4 chance that the child will be born with the sickle cell disease. That is why it is important to know if you have the trait. Sickle cell is associated with life-threatening conditions and it can be very painful. You see, the body's red cells can pass freely through the arteries and veins, but the sickle cells can get stuck, and this is what causes pain. This disease, you cannot catch it from someone. It is inherited. You are born with the trait or the full-blown disease. It comes from your parents. So let's talk sickle cell and what it is about and what can be learned about it and how to live with it. Let's all make better decisions about our family's health by learning the facts and getting tested. A message from the Sickle Cell Association of Grenada. Please call 458-6399 or email us at grenadasc@gmail.com.
Tossed and battered, bruised and knocked down, forever changed. But from the rubble, hope rises. The Optimist Show returns.
Well, Amber, what do you know? We have been here, and it's time for us to say goodbye to our viewers, to our listeners, to all those of you who have joined us for this very first episode in this new season. Our pleasure. We promise that we'll continue to keep hope alive, empower ourselves. The mission really is to rebuild communities and rebuild lives. So whatever we're going to be doing on this podcast, it is intended to lift each other, to get closer to each other. So Amber, I give you the final word to say thanks and goodbye.
Thank you, Mr. Coy. And of course, I would like to reiterate what Mr. Coy just said. We are here. Of course, the main function is keeping hope alive, providing education, and of course, advocating for those who cannot advocate for themselves. So as we leave you, of course, we pray that you will, of course, return and be with us in the next episode of our podcast of the Optimist Show. We hope that you were blessed by the tributes, by the discussions that we had, and that you would continue to spread hope, not only encouraging yourself, but being able to encourage others as you go through your daily challenges, as you face your many obstacles in life. The key thing, as I said, is creating a positive mindset and taking each step one day at a time as you aim towards the achieving your goal, your goals, achieving your goals. So once again, as you have a wonderful week, we pray that you would be intentional, that you would take some time to reflect, not only on the now, but on the past, the present, and of course, the future. So one love, peace and blessings. And of course, may you have a wonderful and productive 2025 as we forge forward, bringing hope and keeping hope alive. So blessings to one and all.
Thank you. Blessings to everybody. Bye-bye. See you again. Thank you, Amber.
Try to understand the way you felt it.